Hello everyone, welcome back to Planet Coaster and welcome back to the Smiler recreation. We are back. It's been a couple of weeks. Last weekend there wasn't a video because I was sorting out my new PC and it is fantastic. I love it. I can finally get some decent FPS in my games now, especially Planet Coaster. I noticed a massive difference loading Planet Coaster back up, so very happy with that. Anyway, we are moving on to the station building now, the Smiler, more specifically the inside of it. Now, the station's already been started off. I did get footage of it, however, it's gone. I don't know where it is, I don't know where Nvidia saved it to, but I remember recording it and I went back to check where it is to put it in my timeline on the video editor, and it's gone. I honestly don't know where it is at all, so I do apologise for that. Anyway, apart from that, what should we talk about? Well, let's just talk about what I'm doing right now. So I'm doing the stairs that go up to the operator's booth. Now these stairs are quite a bit iffy. In real life, they go onto that little platform there, and then there's some other stairs that then go up to the operator's booth. However, it was very tricky to do that, so instead I just did straight downstairs that go straight up to the operator's booth, because it's just easier to do it like that. And then it's one of those things that don't really matter that much to get right. I'd rather, you know, make it look natural in Planet Coaster rather than not make it look natural but have the tiny little detail. Like, I would rather have it look natural rather than just have some tinsy tiny little detail. So that's done now, and I did some stuff in the station off camera really, and now we're starting the indoor section, or the indoor heartline roll. Now whilst this video is titled station, that's because next episode will focus more on the heartline roll and the shop as well. That'll be in next episode, but I am starting it here. I did, you know, a few of the walls, a few of the foundations. One thing I realised whilst doing this was it's actually underground. I didn't know that before. I thought it was at ground level, not ground level, but like the same level that the Batwing and the Cobra roll is at, the floor for that. So I had no idea this was at ground level. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. So I did pause there for a minute, and that was probably just me finding images of how this all works, because this is probably the most complicated structure of a building that I've ever seen, because it's so awkward. You've got that first inversion that goes underneath the shop, but then you've also got the shop that goes through it, and you need to figure out where that shop actually goes. It was just a pain to do it. So it turns out the shop kind of goes through like the middle of it, and then it goes over the bank track where it goes to its lowest point. That's where the shop goes over it. You've also got the exit corridor. I might not be able to do the exit corridor purely because I've run out of space in the station building. It's just so much to fit in one tinsy tiny little place, and we're too far ahead to go and change it, because, you know, that was done a while ago with the track and everything, and yeah, I might not be able to do the exit corridor. I mean, the exit corridor doesn't really matter that much. I mean, it's only a tinsy tiny little thing, and most people, when they download this thing off the workshop, probably won't go and look at the exit corridor. So yeah, I might have to sacrifice the exit corridor, unfortunately. Here, I'm realising I've done these walls the wrong colour. They're actually this smooth tan concrete colour, which is quite odd, because, you know, once you're in that heartline section of the ride in real life, you don't see that it's like a tan colour, do you? You see it as black. You see it's pitch black, and that's just because of the darkness. Well, I was going to say something. Oh, I don't know, I forgot my train of thought once again, but let's just say what I'm doing right now. So I'm doing kind of the foundations of where the ground goes underneath the level of the Batwing and the Cobra roll. And yeah, like I said, I had no idea you actually did this. It was quite tricky to figure out where exactly it goes, because there's not a lot of images out there that actually show this part of the ride. I've tried looking for videos on YouTube of like behind the scenes tour of the Smiler. I did manage to find one, but it was very like pixelated, and the camera was so shaky, it was horrible. I went on to the Towers Times website to see their construction archive, see if they got any drone shots of this part. Turns out they did. They do have some drone shots of it, but it's very, very difficult to actually look at. You know, you can't really get in with that detail because it's a drone shot. It's from high above, so yeah, it's not up close. It was very, very difficult to do. This was. To be honest, I did guess a few bits of this. If anyone has some sort of floor plan or anything of this entire section, please send it to me. I need it. But yeah, this entire thing is very difficult to do. I did guess a bit of it. I've tried to keep it as realistic and as accurate as possible. That is rule number 1 of this recreation. Don't guess anything, but in this case, I just had to, because there was no plans, there was no pictures of it, there was nothing I could go off of. I just had to guess where it is, to be honest. And it's not like I remember where it is, you know. You're going through that inversion about 30 miles per hour, probably. You don't notice that sort of stuff in real life, and there's no pictures of it on the internet or anything, so yeah, it's kind of a downer really, but oh well. I want to talk about one thing I tweeted out last week and also put on the community tab on this channel. Of course, I do have my new PC now, and I said, you know, better graphics card means better cinematics, and what I'm going to do with that, of course you would notice that the opening cinematics in this video were just the same as before. That's because they're not really going to change, they're just going to remain at 1080p with the normal reshade settings I've got now. But I want to do like cinematics and go back to all my other projects like Stealth, Wicker Man, Sword of Ride, and Nemesis, and also when Smiler is done and when eventually Hex is done, do a proper full-on 1440p cinematic with some really good reshade settings and just trying my best at this cinematic. I hope it comes out well. I'm not going to do it as 4K because whilst my graphics card can handle 1440p, I don't think it can handle 4K that well. For those of you wondering, it's a 2070. So yeah, and also yeah, 2070 it got ray tracing. I can finally use the ray tracing settings on Reshade, because I believe Reshade does have a few ray tracing plugins that you can use if you don't have a ray tracing graphics card, but it doesn't look the same if you did. So yeah, now just doing the flooring of this entire, I don't know what to call it, the entire indoor section really. It's basically a concrete floor. And the thing is, this might seem really bare and horrible and everything, and you might be thinking, with a theme as strong as Smiler, why are they just doing it as concrete and all that? Because you don't see it, you don't. In real life, when you're there, you're hurtling through that indoor section at about 30 miles per hour, you don't notice it, it's pitch black, yeah, you're not gonna see it really. So yeah, whilst I do this part of the time-lapse, I don't know what I'm saying, let's talk a bit about Thorpe Park. So we've got all the news from Chessington, you know, they're getting their new attractions this year, that little elephant thing, I don't know. Flamingo Land's obviously getting their new coaster, Polton's Park is getting their big new area, Alton Towers is getting Williams World, Legoland's getting a retheme of Atlantis and their new Duplo coaster. What's coming to Thorpe Park though? Well, reality is, probably nothing. I'm sorry guys, but I know there's Thorpe Park fanboys that watch these videos. Nothing's really going to Thorpe Park for 2020. It's just not. They have this sort of teaser with initializing 2020, this sort of computer sort of thing, I don't know, futuristic computer thing, and to be honest, it doesn't really mean that much at all. If something is coming to Thorpe Park for 2020, it's either going to be some sort of event like Bouncilla, and I really hope they don't just do that again, because, you know, Bouncilla was a nice one-off thing, but it's not really something to see every single year, when they could be investing in a good, decent flat ride, maybe, to replace, what's the one that closed? It's Slammer, yeah, Slammer. Something to replace Slammer, maybe. Or it could be a retheme of some sort of ride there. Not sure if it is going to be retheme. If it is, what ride would they retheme? If you ask me, please can they retheme Sword of Ride? No, what's not Sword of Ride? What am I thinking of? Not Sword of Ride, Colossus. I was thinking of Colossus, not Sword of Ride. Sorry, I do love Sword of Ride's theming, so I don't know why I said Sword of Ride, I meant Colossus. But yeah, retheme Colossus, because honestly, I'm not a fan of Colossus's theming. It's a bit bare, and it's a bit meh, really. So yeah, like I said, that initializing 2020 teaser thing, they've got it on their website as well, hashtag watch this space. Just like, what are you on about? Alright, if there's a new ride coming to Fort Park, we would have known about it by now, because they would have had to submit planning permission, and planning permission is always released to the public, because, you know, the residents and the public around Fort Park need their say on it, of course. But yeah, we would have known if there was a new ride coming to Fort Park right now. This whole initializing 2020 thing is probably just an event or a retheme, because you don't need planning permission for a retheme, obviously, because it's already a standing structure. But yeah, so Fort Park fanboys watching this video, don't get hyped up on the initializing 2020 thing. There hasn't been any planning permission of any kind that's been submitted, so if something is coming, it's not a big thing at all. I'm sorry, it's just not. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, and they suddenly submit planning permission like this week or something, I don't know. If I'm wrong, but it's probably going to be an event, knowing Fort Park. And it's such a shame, really, that Fort Park has, you know, dug itself into the horrible hole of being broke that it is, to be honest, because it all started with Ghost Train, didn't it? Ghost Train was a humongous failure for Fort Park. Maybe not a humongous failure, but it was quite a big failure for the park. You know, they spent so much money on it, and they got barely anything back from it. It's the same with Swarm. Swarm didn't really increase attendance that much, not that I'm aware of. So yeah, that's just the thing with Fort Park. I think Fort Park should just stick to doing coasters, to be honest. They just stick to doing coasters and big thrill flat rides, because that's what people go to Fort Park for. They don't go to Fort Park for Darren Brown's Ghost Train. No, they go to Fort Park for big, massive, thrilling coasters and have a good day out. And it's just, yeah, if people want to do dark rides and all that, and dark ride experiences, they can go to Alton Towers, or they can go to Legoland just down the road. Legoland has a lot of dark rides. But how many do they have? They've got Atlantis, Laser Raiders, Dragon kind of counts, they've got Ninjago, 4 dark rides. Yeah, so basically Legoland have got 4 dark rides already. So yeah, my point is, Fort Park shouldn't try to do stuff like Ghost Train. They just shouldn't. Ghost Train's a massive failure. Not that many people liked it. I initially liked Ghost Train. I loved Ghost Train to begin with, but then after I rode it a couple more times, I started to realise how bit of boring it was, how the VR sort of just doesn't work that well. VR doesn't work that well at all in a theme park. It doesn't make a good experience. It was a good idea to start off with, but after a few rides it just gets boring, really. It really does get boring. But yeah, anyway, now I'm doing sort of the shop. I'm grey walling the shop. Is it called grey walling? I think it's called grey walling, where you're just making an outline of the structure. You're not really going to build it yet, but you're just making an outline. And that's kind of where the shop goes, the walls I've built there. And yet, like I said, it goes through like the middle of the inversion, and it's so oddly shaped and it's so weird. I've had to guess that, like I did with the walls of the indoor heartline roll. I did have to guess that, because like I said, there's not really a floor plan out there. There's not really any good pictures of it. I had this video of walking through the Smiler shop, and I kind of had an idea of where the shop goes, but yeah, it was so difficult to do this. Other people that have recreated the Smiler, how did you do this? Did you get a floor plan? I don't know. Alton Coasters, if you're watching, Distance, if you're watching, did you have a floor plan or anything? I really don't know, but yeah, it was really difficult to do this. So anyway, it is coming up to the end of the video now. Well, it is the end of the video now. Thank you very much for watching today's video. If you're not subscribed, then please do consider subscribing, because it does actually help out the channel more than you expect, to be honest. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching this episode of the Smiler Recreation. Join me next episode where we'll be doing the shop. You know, I think, yeah, the shop and finishing off the heartline roll. Anyway, I'll see you all very, very soon. Goodbye.